G'day there and welcome to Property Scouts New Zealand. We are a rapidly growing property management company with our offices throughout our beautiful country. Our growth is a direct result of our commitment to provide exceptional service to our tenants and landlords alike. As the very proud owner of Property Scouts, I'd like to congratulate you on your successful application for a rental property with us. As I am sure you are aware, there are a few legal requirements to complete, providing protection for both you and Property Scouts. As part of our commitment to providing exceptional service, we want to make things as simple and as easy as possible. This video takes you through the Propertyscouts Tenancy Agreement and explains the various terms and conditions. It is important you understand these T's and C's before you sign the tenancy agreement. Your tenancy agreement is a legal and binding document, so if you have any questions, please get in touch with your property manager. It's vitally important to me and the Property Scouts team that you enjoy your time with us. Some tenants feel that we are just about looking after the landlord's interests. Of course that's important, but our relationship with you is just as important. Without you, we wouldn't be in business. It's that simple.
This section of the tenancy agreement records the address of the property you will be renting. This means that if we need to serve any documentation on you, we are able to use the address of the property. This section deals with the term of the tenancy. The start date of the tenancy is recorded in this section, and if the tenancy is for a fixed term, the end date of the tenancy is also recorded. It's important that you understand the difference between a fixed-term tenancy, where there is a definite start and end date to the tenancy, and a periodic is where only a start date is defined. Your tenancy agreement will either show that it's a fixed-term tenancy or periodic. Next, we have our details, Property Scouts. Property Scouts is acting on behalf of the owner of the property as their agent. So all communications must be made to Property Scouts as we are deemed to be the landlord. Our address, email and phone number is recorded in this section. Our physical address and email address can both be used as addresses for service should you wish to serve documentation on us. You will see the next section indicates that all correspondence is care of Property Scouts. This section details any chattels that are provided as part of the tenancy. The weekly rent is recorded in this section, so please make sure that the amount recorded is what you understand the rent to be. The total bond amount is also recorded. The bank and account number where you are to pay your rent is also included in this section. We prefer your rent is paid by automatic payments, so when you set up your automatic payment, please make sure that you use the tenancy address in the reference section. You will have paid your first week's rent before the tenancy starts.
Your rent in advance will be stated as either 1 or 2 weeks.
Take note that your tenancy agreement states that you are not permitted to assign your tenancy or sublet the tenancy, and the property can only be used by the named tenants for lawful residential purposes. Simply put, that means you can't act as if you are the landlord of the property, and you can't run any sort of business from the property unless you have had our prior approval. This section of the tenancy agreement contains all your details. Please check to see that the spelling, phone numbers, email addresses and other details are correct. If there are going to be additional residents living at the property with you, their details will be recorded in this section. Only the maximum number of residents indicated in the next section of the agreement are allowed to reside at the address. The next section deals with vehicles to be parked at the property. It is important that only authorised vehicles are parked on the property. This section deals with the liabilities relating to the likes of power and gas and grounds. We will record on the agreement who is responsible for these. Smoking, including vaping, is not permitted at the property, and this is confirmed in this section. Sometimes pets cause problems at rental properties. Unless it's been agreed, no pets are permitted at the property. Any pets that have been agreed to must be recorded in this section. This section of the tenancy agreement deals with terms and conditions for the agreement. Please make yourself fully conversant with all of the terms and conditions. All the terms and conditions are important, but some we'd like to highlight are liability. All tenants are jointly and severally liable for any debt due relating to the tenancy. All tenants listed on a tenancy agreement are liable. By way of an example, it means that if you are in a flatting situation and one of your flatmates doesn't pay their rent, for whatever reason, then you are just as liable for the unpaid rent as the tenant who hasn't paid. The tenancy agreement you will be signing is a legally binding agreement. If you're unsure of any aspect, then we suggest you seek independent advice. Smoke detectors. We will make sure that the property has a sufficient number of smoke alarms in working condition at the beginning of the tenancy. We ask that you maintain the smoke alarms in working condition during the tenancy. Removing smoke alarms or interfering with them so that they don't operate properly is an offence. Drains and waste. Keep any drains at the property clean and clear of obstructions. In particular, keep an eye on the shower drains, as hair can build up in the drains, causing blockages. Noise. Please be sure that you keep noise to a reasonable level. It is a breach of your tenancy agreement to interfere with the quiet enjoyment of your neighbours. Landlord right of entry. Property inspections are part and parcel of renting. We will conduct our first routine inspection at the property about 1 month into the tenancy, and then every 3 months. We will provide you with an advance notice of the routine inspection, which will be a minimum of 48 hours notice. If you wish, you can be present, but it's not necessary, as we can access the property using our keys. We will endeavour to work with you as far as scheduling routine inspections is concerned, but because of the number of inspections we're required to carry out, we often don't have a lot of leeway. The law states that provided we've given the required 48 hours notice, we can access the property. But if you have a valid reason for not wanting the inspection to take place on a particular day, then please get in touch and we will see what we can arrange. If we notice issues at the property that we're concerned about, then we may have to increase the frequency of our inspections. We understand your rights to privacy and quiet enjoyment of the property and respect those rights. Photographs will be taken during the inspections, which are held by us and also forwarded to the property owner. We are only required to give you 24 hours notice for a tradesman to visit to carry out necessary repairs. Light bulbs are your responsibility, and you must ensure that they are all in working condition at the end of the tenancy. As the old saying goes, you get what you pay for. If you purchase cheap supermarket light bulbs, there's a fair chance that they won't last the duration of your tenancy. So, our advice is to buy good quality bulbs. If a bulb you're replacing is an LED, then the new bulb must also be an LED. Pets and carpet cleaning. Keep carpets clean at the property. Any stains should be dealt with immediately and not left till the end of the tenancy. If carpets are not maintained to a reasonable standard, you may be responsible for professional cleaning at the end of the tenancy. If you have pets and professional carpet cleaning is a condition of your tenancy for allergy reasons, then please ensure that you use a reputable carpet cleaning company and provide us with the receipt. The use of rug doctor machines is not considered suitable. Your responsibility regarding the property and grounds. Tenants are responsible for keeping the property in a reasonably clean and tidy condition during the term of the tenancy. If the property you are renting has lawns and gardens, then you are responsible for keeping them clean and tidy during the tenancy. Tenants are responsible for maintaining the lawns, so mow them, and the garden beds need to be weeded. The landlord is responsible for maintaining trees, hedges, and large shrubs. If you fail to maintain the grounds of the property and keep them in a reasonable condition, we may have to send a qualified person to the property to deal with the grounds, the cost of which will be your responsibility. Our advice is that you keep on top of the garden and lawn maintenance, as it can get away on you very quickly. As the old saying goes, cleanliness is next to godliness. Regardless of your religious beliefs, keeping your property clean and tidy is a condition of your tenancy. Repairs and maintenance. You need to notify us as soon as possible for any damage you cause to the property or the need for any repairs. Unless it's an emergency, we ask that you notify us by email. Please do not arrange any repairs without our consent. Ventilation, mould and mildew. Mould and mildew can be a health issue and usually occurs when the premises are not ventilated properly. To prevent this being an issue, please ventilate the property by opening windows regularly, or at least daily. Your tenancy agreement contains further documentation on how to deal with mould and mildew. Please make yourself familiar with it. Where you notice mould and mildew, clean the area as soon as possible using a mild bleach product. The tenant acknowledges that they have received the Propertyscouts Damp Home Guide and have read and understood it. Water charges. Some local body councils charge landlords for water usage. In these cases, the council uses water meter readings at the property to assess the amount of water used. If the property you are renting has a water meter and the council charges for water usage, then Propertyscouts will invoice you on a regular basis for your water usage. All water usage invoices must be paid within 14 days. This section deals with insurance the landlord may have relating to the property. Your tenancy agreement will record whether or not the property is insured, and if it is insured, what the excess is. The excess is the amount the landlord will have to pay to the insurance company for any claim accepted by the insurance company. If you or any of your guests carelessly damage the landlord's property, then you will be liable for the cost of the landlord's excess, or the equivalent of 4 weeks' rent, whichever is the lesser. If any damage is deemed to be intentional, then you will be responsible for the full cost. The moral of the story is, please be careful and do all you can to ensure that the property is not damaged. Please be aware that any insurance the landlord has does not protect your belongings. We strongly recommend that you take out your own contents and liability insurance. As well as protecting your belongings, it may also cover any inadvertent damage you cause to the property. The next section deals with smoke alarms at the property. It's compulsory for all rental properties to have a minimum number of smoke alarms. The next 2 sections are for you, the tenants, and us, the agents of the landlord, to sign. Each tenant must sign each page of the tenancy agreement. Once all the documentation has been completed, you will receive a fully executed copy of the tenancy agreement. The next section deals with our statement regarding the Healthy Homes requirements. In 2019, the government introduced the Healthy Homes Standards. Their intentions, which we here at Propertyscouts agree with, was to make rental properties safer and healthier by ensuring that the properties were appropriately heated in the main living area of the property, properly insulated, ventilated in the kitchen and bathrooms where possible, free from unreasonable drafts, free from leaks and moisture ingress, That's ensuring sufficient drainage and the like. Properties are fitted with ground moisture barriers for properties with space below the floor. The Healthy Homes Standards took effect on the 1st of July in 2021 for all new tenancies. For any tenancies being renewed after that date, the landlord has 90 days to ensure that the property complies, and by signing this section, we are confirming that we will abide by the requirements. The next section deals with the various Healthy Homes Standards and how your rental property complies.
The standards are heating, insulation, ventilation, moisture ingress and drainage, and draft stopping.
Just before we finish off, here are a couple of additional points you should be aware of. Entry inspection at the commencement of the tenancy and exit inspection at the end of the tenancy. On or before the day that your tenancy starts, we will meet you at the property to complete an entry inspection and any other outstanding paperwork. Prior to this, we will take photos and videos of the property in order to record its condition at the time of handover to you.
The property will likely have undergone a methamphetamine screening test, which will be repeated again at the end of your tenancy.
Sometimes it may be necessary for us to refer to the entry photos and video at the end of the tenancy to clarify matters concerning the condition of the property. Because of the large number of photographs and videos we take, it's not practical for us to provide you with copies. We suggest you take your own photos when your tenancy commences. Your bond is not kept by us. It is sent by us to Tenancy Services. They hold your bond until the end of the tenancy. If there are no outstanding issues at the end of the tenancy, the bond is returned within a few days to you by Tenancy Services. They will require your bank account and your signature, so ensure that the signature you use on the bond lodgement form is your normal signature. A couple of points to be aware of with your bond. As we've already said, we don't hold it. Tenancy Services do. So we can't access it without either your permission or an order from the Tenancy Tribunal. Please ensure that you pay your rent in full up until the last day of your tenancy. We cannot take the last week or two of your rent from your bond because, as we've already said, we don't have it. We won't allow return of your bond while there are any outstanding issues. Chances are it's a sizable sum of money, and let's face it, it's better off being in your bank than it is with Tenancy Services Bank. So it pays to ensure that there are no outstanding issues at the end of your tenancy.
Well done, you've completed the tenancy induction. Finally, just a couple of very important points. It will come as no surprise that two of the most common headaches in property management are late or unpaid rent and cleanliness of the property during and at the end of the tenancy. Can I ask that if you have problems during your tenancy, get in touch and let's get it sorted before it becomes a major problem. If issues are left, then you may end up in front of the Tenancy Tribunal. Not only is that very stressful, but the outcome may have a very negative impact on your credit rating and your ability to rent in the future. None of us at Property Scouts want to see that happen. We're really looking forward to working with you. Enjoy your rental with Property Scouts.